Hey boys and girls, it's math time. Okay, yesterday we had a really long lesson on a lot of 2D shapes. What does 2D mean again? Yeah, it means that it's flat, that you just draw it on a paper. Can you hold it? No, we can't hold it. It's just flat. But Miss Bowden went through and did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 different shapes that I went over with you guys. So what I want to do is I want to review a few facts about these shapes, and then I'm going to give you some practice on them as well today, just to make sure that we're up to date on our shapes and knowing how many sides and how many angles or corners. Or here's a new vocabulary word for you: vertices. Sometimes Miss Bowden just used the word vertices for 3D shapes, but on one of these worksheets, it uses the word vertices for our 2D shapes. Now, what is a vertice? Well, it's just an angle or a corner where two sides meet and form one of those corners or one of those angles. So it's just a very fancy word for a corner or an angle. I prefer using angles. I like using the word vertices for 3D shapes, but on one of our 2D shape worksheets I'm going to give you, it uses that word. So just be aware of that. All right, let's go over. Let's start with our first 2 shapes. They are 4 sides, 4 angles, but their angles are perfect right square angles that make 90 degrees. One of them has all the sides that are equal, and one of them has got 2 short sides and 2 long sides. Can you think of them? Gave you so many clues. Okay, what's the one with the all equal sides called? A square, very good. And what about the one with the 2 shorter and 2 longer sides? A rectangle, very good. So remember, we did our square and our rectangle, and we learned that they both have 4 sides. They both have 4 corners or 4 angles. And those corners or angles make perfect right angles, which measure 90 degrees. And the difference between them is that the square is made up of all equal sides, whereas the rectangle has got 2 shorter and 2 longer sides. Good job. Okay, here's another one. I'm gonna give you some clues and I want you to start guessing at them, okay? This one has got no sides, no angles. It's curved. Now, think back. There are 2 shapes that fit those characteristics, but there's a difference between them. One is perfectly round and perfectly equal all around. The other one is a stretched out version of it. Can you think of those shapes and those names? Okay, what is the name of the shape that is the stretched out version? An oval, very good. And what is the name of the shape that's perfectly round? A circle, very good. So we did our circle and our oval. And we know that they're both round, but no sides and no angles, but the circle is perfectly round. It makes the letter O, whereas the oval is like a stretched out circle, where it's gonna be smaller on the ends. Awesome. Okay, here's a shape. 3 sides, 3 angles. Easiest one. Yeah, what is that one? Very good, that's our triangle. 3 sides and 3 angles. Remember, Miss Bowden told you there are so many different types of triangles out there, but you're gonna learn them when you get older. You just need to know that triangles have 3 sides and 3 angles. Doesn't matter what they look like. As long as you got 3 sides and 3 angles, it's called a triangle. Yeah, pretty cool. Okay, let's see. Getting to a tough one now. Okay, here's a clue. 4 sides and 4 angles. But there are no right 90-degree angles in this one. Nope. It's a tricky one. Here's a big clue. It kind of looks like a diamond. It's basically a square slanted. I think I gave it away when I gave that last clue. Can you think of it? A rhombus, very good. A rhombus has got 4 sides, 4 angles. It looks like a diamond. Oh my goodness, most important fact, all the sides are equal because it's basically a square slanted. So that means all the sides are equal in a rhombus. 4 sides, 4 angles. Looks like a diamond, but it's slanted. Okay, here's your next one. Think of the trick I taught you yesterday. 6 sides, 6 angles. I can't stump ya. Right, a hexagon. Hexagon. 6 sides, 6 angles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll make it even easier for you to see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I put dots on where my corners meet. So you can count the 6 and then you count the lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hex. 6. Okay. Last one. Another tricky one. Another 4-sider and 4 angles. So many shapes with 4 sides and 4 angles. That's such a big clue. But I can't narrow it down until I say there's a side that has a short side, one short side, and there's one long side, and they run parallel to each other. Parallel, remember, they never touch. You got the short and the long side, they never touch. Tricky. Trapezoid. Trapezoid. 4 sides, 4 angles. One's small, one's long, and they run parallel, meaning that they will never, ever, ever touch one another. Very good. Now, trapezoids can have one 90-degree angle, but some of them don't. The ones that you see most likely are not going to. But that's the biggest trait, is that they're going to have 2 lines that run parallel to each other. One is always going to be short, and one is always going to be longer. Okay, here's going to be what we're going to do today. We've got our homework. Only day 5 for your homework today for April. Just day 5. Make sure you read it closely. Lots of extra adding and 10 more, 10 less practice. So day 6 is for tomorrow. Day 5 is today. And then I'm going to give you guys a couple of worksheets. I'm going to give you a shape attribution worksheet, which is where they use that term vertices, which means angles, corners. But what you're going to do is basically trace the shape out with a crayon or with your pencil. And then also, I would love for you to tell mommy or daddy what the name of each shape is. Tell me how many sides and how many corners are in that shape. But remember, write the name of that shape somewhere or tell mommy and daddy what that shape name is to help you identify it, to make sure that you're saying the shape and that you're doing it correctly. Then we've got 2 more worksheets that are identifying shapes. And so basically it's like a tree map you're going to make. So I would start with this one: circle, square, rectangle, triangle. And you put all the facts about circles that are here underneath it, and a square and a rectangle and triangle. And then over here, you're going to have to start out with writing the actual names of these shapes on there. Or actually, they've got the names right there. So put them right there and then do the same thing. It's going about with all of our shapes that we learned. Okay. So, let's see. Have fun with your math today. I think you guys are going to start rocking at identifying shapes, because tomorrow we're going to work on taking some of those shapes and putting them together to make other shapes, which is really fun because then we start our building. Okay, see you in a bit for reading.